Roasted carrots. We have some nice fresh carrots right here, and I like to keep these little green stems on the back. You can't eat them, but I think they look really pretty when you present them to your friends or whatever. It makes the dish look really nice at the end. And first things first, we got to get them dressed with avocado oil, salt, and pepper. And so we'll start by adding a little of the oil right now. Just a little bit of a drizzle over the top like this. Move them around just a little bit so that they get coated on all sides. And then we'll have Kelsey over here. She'll salt and pepper these for us. Are you ready? All right, we'll start with the salt here.
You're doing a great job.
Nice job. It's a real simple preparation, but when you have really good fresh products like these carrots, you don't want to do a whole lot to them. Awesome. So that's all we have to do for the carrot prep. And we'll slide these in the oven for about 20-25 minutes, depending on how powerful your oven is, at 400 degrees. Next, the pecans. So we want to make some candied pecans to kind of sprinkle on top of the carrots, and we'll finish them with a little goat cheese and thyme at the end for a little bit of aroma. So the first we need for our pecans, and we'll start with half cup roughly chopped. These are already chopped as you can see from the top. So we'll get these poured in.
Is there a particular type of salt that you like to use in your cooking?
Yes.
How do you know?
Absolutely. I use many different types of salts. Salt's a really versatile product. Typically, when I'm just seasoning something getting ready for roasting or something getting ready to go on the grill or sauteed, I'll use kosher salt, Morton's kosher salt. I feel it's really flaky and it covers, it's really easy to cover the whole entire area of the food. Sometimes with finishing salts, or in this occasion, I have pink Himalayan salt in here. And these salts not only are different levels of saltiness, but they have different levels of minerals in them as well. So that's why mixing up the salts from sea salt to kosher salt to pink Himalayan can give you a real balanced level of minerals in you, so that you can stay hydrated when you're trying to get better, or when you're trying to perform on the field or working out. Mm-hmm. So the second thing we'll do is, after this pan gets a little hot and these almonds start to get toasted, is we'll put 2 tablespoons of butter in. And this is grass-fed butter. I don't like to skimp on the butter. I think getting really good quality butter is really excellent. So we'll give these a stir. And then the third ingredient will be a little bit of brown sugar, and by a little bit I mean 1/2 of a tablespoon. So we have a little tablespoon right here. And we'll stir that around, and they start to get real candied and they'll get sweet. And we need a little maple syrup. We'll throw just 1.5 tablespoons of that in there, and just like that. And as it starts to get going, you'll start to see the butter bubble, and you'll start to see the sugar melt away and dissolve. You don't want to go too far, because then you'll start to burn the sugar real quick, and it'll turn almost into a brittle. So right when it just starts to kind of separate and dissipate between the pecans, just take them off the heat and let them cool, and separate them out a little bit so that they don't clump together. But when they get hard, you can break them up.
Okay. I think, Lexi, you had a great idea for an alternative sweetener if you couldn't do a lot of sugar or carbohydrate.
We do. So there's a couple of different things that you can use instead of the maple syrup and instead of the brown sugar. One of them is crystallized monk fruit, because that can do that caramelization that you need on those pecans to get that, and that doesn't have any carbohydrate to it. But you can also do something called yacon syrup. There is a little bit of carbohydrate in there, but it's got a lot of fiber, so its net carb is very small, and that will also help, like the maple syrup type of idea.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So as these are cooling, we'll get ready to finish the carrots because they're roasting in the oven. And we're going to dress them right at the end with a little bit of thyme and just a little bit of goat cheese. We'll start here with the thyme, because we need to chop up a little thyme to sprinkle it off on the top. And one real great trick that I've learned from my mom is that you take a fork and you grab a few sprigs of thyme like we have here, and you run the fork right down the thyme and it'll peel all the leaves right off, so you don't have to do it by hand. So once we've got some of this thyme pricked off here, I have a little bit of extra here. We just give it a little bit of a rough chop because inevitably there will be a few stems. And you just want to minimize those because once they go on the hot carrots, it's really going to add a lot of fragrance to it.
Yeah, it smells so good without adding a lot of, salt or sugar or fat, just by adding that herb.
Fresh
it adds
herbs,
so much
yeah.
flavor.
Fresh herbs are so great because they're a really concentrated source of antioxidants, and the more you use of the fresh herbs, the less sugar you can use.
Absolutely.
And if you don't want the salt, the less salt that you could use as well. All right, so shall we bring out our finished product?
This is what we have prepared. So like I said, with the little greens on the end, it makes it kind of fun to kind of present. And we've sprinkled the pecans on top, and we sprinkled the goat cheese and a little bit of the fresh thyme that we just chopped up. Is it good?
Yeah, that's a big smile that we
Nice.
got. All right, next up we have our
Salmon.
salmon.
Dijon rosemary
Dijon
salmon.
Rosemary salmon. We can't wait.